I think we're live.
But how do you make this?
Let's see.
Probably okay.
I can't see anything like that people are saying or anything. It's playing a stupid ad. Oh, I see. Somebody said, okay, I see you. Hey, Travis and Rick. Can you guys hear me? Let me know. I got my mic hooked up to my phone, and if you guys can't hear me, okay.
I don't know. Do you want me to turn that up? Because it lags.
We can hear you. Okay. Yeah, I can see people are saying stuff. Can I see it on that thing?
I don't know.
Oh, well, this is loading. This thing isn't even... I'm trying to see your guys' comments while I'm sitting down. I can't see it from the...
It's buffering.
Oh, it's lagging out bad. Yeah. Try and get on your phone, because this is... Oh, this is our first live, guys, so just give me a minute. Oh, live chat. What? No. Oh, here we go. Hello, Dallas, Fort Worth. Okay. So I'm seeing it's lagging out really bad, though, on that. Maybe it'll be more better on your phone.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm seeing it's lagging out really bad, though. Maybe it'll be more better on your phone.
It lags. I'd say about 15 seconds.
From San Antonio, Dallas, Fort Worth, from Weatherford, Texas. A lot of people from Texas. Dallas, Fort Worth. Yeah, it's better on your phone. Weatherford, Texas. A lot of people from Texas. See if I wave. How far is it on the TV? Yeah. See if I wave. TV's like 10 minutes back. TV.
You said, is that a water cooler behind the clock?
TV's like 10 minutes back. TV.
Water cooler behind the clock.
TV's like 10 minutes back. TV. Okay. I'm having to read the chat from Dad's phone. TV's like 10 minutes back. TV. Okay. Turn this down. Who asked about the cooler? You saw that?
Who it was? He just asked if that was a cooler behind the clock. And
yeah, it's a swamp cooler. Philly suburbs, loud and clear. Okay. Hi from England. Love your AD 3100 work. Okay, the Advanced Design 3100. Yeah, that 48. That was a cool truck. I still drive that around. Love your 80. And then also the 5-window that we did a video on recently. The one where I had all the drive shaft troubles and everything. That truck is sold. That one is gone, actually. Another guy in Tucson who has a restoration shop bought it. Because I guess he had a truck just like it when he was for his first truck or whatever back a long time ago. So he really wanted a truck just like that. So he ended up buying it, and he's going to leave the patina, he said, and just drive it like that, get it roadworthy and drive it, which I think is cool. That's what I did with that 48 that I did all the videos on, or that we did the motor on. We just did a drivetrain and just drove it.
Somebody asked, tell us about the cars. This I think you can see it. The car that you're seeing, that you see the front of it, it's a '56 Cadillac, and this is a '59 wagon. '59 wagon. Here's Emily. Oh, up to my armpits in Geo-Metro control arms.
Here we go. Yeah. Emily from Tucson. Yeah, I know who you are. Hello from Utah, Kentucky, Colorado, Australia. And I hope you guys got air conditioning. That's cute. No, we have a swamp cooler at best, which works okay. It does a good job when there's no humidity, but it's monsoon season right now. If you don't know what monsoon season in Arizona is, you have to look it up. It's like a specific time in the heat of the summer where it's supposed to rain more often, you know. It's rain season for a couple of weeks, but in the humidity, swamp coolers don't work because they work on water. And when there's water in the air, it just doesn't really work. So none of our work spaces are air conditioned. We've always worked in the heat, basically, outside or under a shade, or we used to work in here a lot more, and it's swamp cooled. Where we built my truck, that my 50 GMC, my red and white one you guys see in the background at my house all the time. We built that in here.
Someone was asking about your shirt, if you still sold any shirts.
Dig the El Camino work. The best vintage patina is coming from out of Arizona. And you can find good patina vehicles in lots of places. But yeah, sometimes you'll find a good one here. That's great. They both run, I assume. Probably talking about these. Yeah. Everything we have runs, drives, and scoots. That's kind of our rule. We don't like to accumulate projects just for the sake of accumulating them and then let them sit and just keep buying more and never get any of them anywhere. Like, we really like to focus on one when we get one. So any vehicle you see around is typically going to at least run and drive and is movable under its own power. Like, it may not be restored to the nines. Like, we have done a few that way, like pre-YouTube, but they'll at least run and drive.
I don't know if this will come through or not. There's the El Camino.
Here, show it for a sec. Show it for a sec on the camera.
Okay.
Oh, this is
this car that he's setting aside.
Yeah, here. What in the world? See if you guys can see that.
They can see it, I can see it.
We'll just show it for a sec. This is a picture of that 59 El Camino. Yeah, there we go. And then I'll show you guys the car. I'll pan it over. This is the 59. We've never showed this on the channel. This is a 59. What am I saying, El Camino? It's a wagon. Yeah, this one my dad did full frame off, restoration, paint, body, engine, trans, seats. I mean, this is like a Barrett Jackson Mecum auto auction quality car. What'd you put? You put in a three something stroker, 383 stroker, and then a 700 R4. It's a really cool car. Actually, it's a really nice car.
I had this car done all the way, and some of you guys know Richard is the one that gave us the
rear end.
The rear end for that 60 El Camino, and he was sitting here in a chair, and he was talking to me, and he goes, "The car was actually done to this point, and I wasn't going to do the frame. I wasn't going to pull the frame out from underneath of it. He said, man, how's the frame in that thing? I said, man, and I was laying down there underneath the car, and I never noticed. And I said, I got to looking real close, and the frame was almost broken half. Broken half. So I wound up, that's the only reason I done the frame off, because I had to pull the frame out from underneath the car and put another frame underneath of it.
So you had it all painted up and done?
Oh, it was all done.
Really? You didn't figure out the frame had a crack until it was done?
It was up inside and you couldn't see it, but the car, it was
really,
it was almost broken half.
Wow.
I never paid any attention to it. Never paid any close attention to the frame. Well, it wasn't to that point yet, but anyway, that's why I wound up having to take the frame out from under. That's why it had a frame off.
Hi from Schenectady. Did you still sell the shirts? I need a new one. Okay, so with shirts, a lot of people don't know this. I did TikTok before YouTube, and I sold shirts through my TikTok channel. So I do have shirts left from my TikTok days, but they don't really relate to what I do on YouTube now. That's why I haven't marketed them, because they aren't the cars we're working on. It's some of the appliances I have. Actually, my Cadillac is on one of them. My stove is on another, and my fridge is on another. They're like 50s advertisements, and that's what I was selling.
It is metallic. It's a factory color. I try to keep things as close to factory as possible. I will change some things, but for the most part, I try to leave them the way they was when in the day. I will admit to you that I have another 53 pickup truck, and when I bought it, it was just a stripped out frame, and it wound up, I put a V8 and an automatic in it. But for the most part, I try to leave them the way they are, but that's just me. So it doesn't bother me if other people do what they want to do. That's their business. But in my opinion, I like to have the experience of them the way they was. And that's just the way I do things.
Yeah. How about the history of the Caddy and the GMC? That's a long history. Both of those are long stories. I'm glad, but I'll tell you more about them in a minute. I'm glad that Dodge truck got a good home. I like that truck. Talking about the 73 Camper Special. Yeah, that one went to San Francisco recently. That was a California original truck, and then the guy bought it and shipped it out to San Francisco. Do you like to work on European cars? I'll be honest, they don't float my boat. I don't hate them, but I'm not real interested in them. I like I've always been drawn, and I think Dad has too, we've always been drawn to big, heavy, overbearing American cars. Just cars that are way too big, way too heavy, way too much chrome, way too many parts. I don't know, really like that kind of stuff for some reason. The European cars, they're real small, and we like everything big.
Well, I have read a lot of the comments. There's a lot of guys that watch that are probably my age. They remember a lot of stuff. They grew up in the same times. I grew up more in the 70s, and I do like bigger cars. I like to get into a car, and I like to have a lot of room. I like to have a lot of room. Never was much. I never did really like driving little bitty cars. I get it. I do got a Volkswagen diesel pickup truck right now. I've been driving it around. It's getting very, very good fuel mileage. But I do a lot of driving around town, and it was just, I have a Dodge Cummins pickup truck, and it was just eating me up in fuel. So I built it. But as far as taking a trip in it, no, I wouldn't take a trip in it.
Yeah. That sign is cool. Oh, are you talking about probably this one? This is an original Coke sign, actually. It's a school zone sign, but really on the other side, it's a Coca-Cola advertisement. Will it flip around? Oh. There you go. And now we'll show the Coca-Cola side for a bit. It's like a painted man on one side, a Coca ad on the other. Those are really cool. So many cool collections. Thank you. Appreciate that. We work hard to find collections. Well, find items for us ourselves. We're really drawn to gas and oil, and it's part of American history. Big oil is big business. And to see the history of that and in physical form is pretty neat. How long have you guys been working on cars? I've been working on cars since I was 12. When I bought that red and white GMC that you guys see in the back of all my videos under my carport, I bought that when I was 12. Started body work on it probably not even a week or two after I got it. Jim came over and was teaching me how to do body work, sanding it down to metal. I mean, we just got right into it. We just dug right into it, you know what I'm saying? None of this, it was just trial by fire, really. Started using air tools and sanding at 12, welding at 12, rebuilt the V8 engine that's in that truck to this day when I was 13. And obviously Dad guided the whole process through. I didn't just, wasn't out here just with wrenches by myself. You have to have some guidance. You don't know what you're doing, but yeah.
And a note to all the fathers out there, it's spend as much time with your kid as you can, because they do grow up very fast. And that time that you spent together doing that kind of stuff, you will never regret it, not for 1 minute, not even for one. And one of the things that frustrated me the most was a lot of times I would talk to fathers, because obviously before we got Travis's truck, I was trying to figure out how we was going to approach it, because I didn't think it was going to be right for me to pay. I didn't think it would be right for him if I paid for everything, because then he wouldn't come to the appreciation of the truck. So I when we started off, I just told him, I said, what I'll do is you got to do stuff to make money, but if you've got 100, I'll chip in 100. If you've got 200, I'll chip in 200. And so I thought that was the best way to handle it, because it made it to where he could actually get something done. Because let's face it, he was a 12-year-old kid. He couldn't get a job, and so he had to do odd jobs to make money. So he would take things to the scrapper. I'd bring stuff home, and he'd scrap it, and we'd take it, and he'd make money, and it was like working for your money twice. So, but that was the way we handled it. And to all the fathers out there, spend as much, and it didn't matter to me which truck that he picked. It didn't matter to me what he picked at all. I mean, even if your son or daughter is in whatever it is they're into, you be into it with them, and go and get what they want. I talk to some fathers, and they say, well, I want my kid to get this car, that car, this car. No, that's not what they want. You want them to stay interested. So that's not preaching, just saying.
Well, it's the facts of life. You can't just cut a kid loose. You can't let a kid raise themselves. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you have to tell them. I mean, you are the arbiter of the household. So, can you guys? I want to know. Just comment. Can you guys hear both of us? I have one mic. I know I've heard a few comments. Dad needs a mic. And needs a mic in videos, and I have tried 2 mics. This little mic kit I have comes with 2 mics, but one of them always cuts out. They don't always work both together. One will be working, like you'll have them both connected, but one will work and the other one cuts out. So I don't know. The only reliable way is to use one mic, because I've tried using 2.
It says they can hear both.
Okay.
There was someone talking. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I want to see what these other questions are. I want to try and answer everybody's questions.
That's cool.
How long have we been working on cars? So I said 12. Dad's been working on cars since he was in middle 16, 15,
All my life, yeah.
All his life and all my life. And his dad, we come actually from a long line of mechanics. I started when I was 12. Dad started when he was 15, 16. And then he also worked with his dad for 7 years when he was in his 20s. And his dad... So my grandfather worked on cars, all trucks, big trucks, all his life, and his dad was a miner in West Virginia, a mechanic and a coal miner in West Virginia. So Yeah, we come from a very mechanically inclined side of, I don't know, genes, our genome, our genetic makeup, something, we can fix things. Um, Missing the stove shirt, thought I'd ask. Yeah, I would sell the shirts again. I just don't have whatchamacallit, a site for it anymore. But I don't know, I can do it. Land yachts, their best cars. 64 Cadillac is huge. Yeah, I love. Hello from Japan. Heck yeah, someone's from Japan. Interesting. Um, what was your first car? Question for both of you. My first truck was that 50 GMC you guys see in the background of all my videos I talk about. That was my first truck, my first car, first vehicle. Still have it to this day. What was your first car? Was it a Monte Carlo?
1974 Monte Carlo.
And that was in what, the 80s, 83, 84?
1982.
So that was only not even, that was like an 8-year-old car. That was like a used car.
1982. Rusted out.
Well,
it was rusted.
He grew up in Mount Vernon, Illinois, so southern Illinois. So cars rot out bad there. How do we find cars? I think someone asked. We just look. Like, we look on Craigslist, we look on Facebook, I look in different cities, I look 400 miles away from me. I look in every big city within 400 miles, like every day. Like, we're not just on the clock for 8 hours. I'm looking for stuff in the morning, checking at night. I mean, I'm looking for stuff all the time.
Well, something I'd like to say too is don't get discouraged, because I look at it this way. I'll probably go through maybe 500 to 600 to 700 ads a day just looking, and you might find one car every month, something that interests you, something that interests you. So it never happens fast, and then sometimes word of mouth, someone will say, hey, I've got this or I've got that. It never hurts to go look. It never hurts to go look. Even if you think something's not interesting to you, maybe go take a look at it. I've had people contact me about coming and looking at something, and I've spoke to them about it, and I thought, it's probably not something I'd be interested in. As a matter of fact, this 56 Cadillac, when the original person that told me about this car, is they said that it was setting outside setting outside apart. And I thought, well, I don't know if I want to get into another restoration, but I thought, well, I'll just go take a look at it. At the very least, go take a look at it. And really, in all reality, it was actually setting underneath an awning, and the front and the back bumper had been taken off of it because it was setting at a person's house, and the guy that was selling it, his father had passed away, and the only reason the bumpers were off of it is because he was trying to keep people from stealing them, and he had stored them inside the building, and it really, really made the car look really bad, and it was just full of dirt and dust. But that was why the car looked so bad, and I was originally not going to go look at the car because of that.
He's talking about this one.
This Cadillac, yeah.
He's talking about this one, which also has never really appeared on the channel because it's just in the building. So this is the car. This is the original patina. This is the original paint. But yeah, Dad got the motor running in this one.
And the seats and stuff have been redone, and the headliner, obviously. It was... somebody by the name of Tracy Blades.
Yeah, I know that person.
That would be my wife.
Let's see. Now I'm looking at the phone. I'm not on my phone playing games. I have the live going here, reading your questions. That's what I'm doing, just so you guys know. Because I can hear it right now. Dang, kid's always on his phone. These kids these days are always on their phone playing games. Now I'm looking at the live. I'll work on. Let's see. Sean said, "I'll work on cars as a hobby, but never as a career. Not likely. Modern vehicles are too complicated. More parts and engine has the higher probability of something breaking down. Well, yeah, that's true. That's why, well, one, we don't like to work on modern vehicles either. That's why we stick to the old stuff because it's cool and it's more simple and it's just more fun. And we don't want to work on cars as a career either for like having a shop, like that kind of thing, like having a restoration shop or having opening up a shop, mechanic shop, garage or whatever. That's why I don't know. I didn't want to name my channel such and such speed shop or such and such garage or such and such like whatever because it's like we're not really like a shop garage like just it's all at our
We do it
house.
because we do it because we like it.
Yeah.
We do it, yeah, because we like it.
Let's see. Jason Tucker said watching from Newfoundland, Canada. Think you'll do any heavy equipment, older machines, of course. Yeah, like I really like what Diesel Creek does. If you guys watch Diesel Creek, I've been wanting to get an old piece of equipment because I think they're really cool, like a really old tractor, dozer, or, something like that to do a will it run on, like the stuff Diesel Creek works on. I think his stuff is really cool. But there's not a lot of that abandoned stuff around here. Tell you the truth, I mean, there's a lot more cool abandoned stuff on further east you go because it's an older part of the country. There's not a lot of that abandoned stuff around here. It's just that is really hard to find here. And on top of that, that stuff is very heavy. It's very hard to move.
We're not set up to move it.
We're not. Yeah, we are really not set up to move stuff that big and heavy and locked up. It's really hard to move that stuff.
And as far as equipment goes, I worked on what you would not big equipment for the past 23 years. I worked on forklifts. I worked mainly Crown Electrics for the past 23 years. I was a technician all the way up until Travis was born, and then the garage I was working at closed down at the same time he was born, and then I went to work for working on quote unquote smaller equipment, not big equipment. But my main thing for the past 23 years was probably some of you guys probably are material handling. You know what a Crown forklift is, a lot of you guys, but I was mainly the electric forklift
They
guy.
use them a lot in warehouses. So
Costco, Home Depot.
yeah, Costco, Home Depot, Lowe's. They use electric Crown forklifts, and some people use Raymond lifts, but Crown is pretty big, and you stand up on them and you move them with a joystick and stuff. Hello from the Czech Republic. Man, we got people from Japan, Czech Republic. That's really interesting. I've heard that Japan likes our culture a lot, which is kind of interesting. Like, Japanese people really like us, which is cool. I think that's fascinating. I have to tell you something that's crazy, that's fascinating to me about Japan. I watched this documentary called All Things Must Pass. It was about Tower Records. Remember that? That
Yeah.
documentary about Tower Records?
That was good, yeah.
Man, I still think about that documentary to this day. I've never forgot it. And it was this guy, Russ Solomon, who started a record store back when people bought records. And he started it in the 60s and he ran it all the way up until the computer era, like the 90s and the early 2000s when LimeWire and Napster and iTunes started coming on the scene, and it just killed the record companies. But during this time he'd started to expand across the world, so he had stores all over the United States, but he had some stores in Japan, some record stores, and all of the record stores he had in America closed down, went bankrupt. But years and years later, there was still a 2 or 3 story Tower Records still going on in Japan.
Right.
It was still running in Japan, and people were in there, like, because you know how they have headphones all over the store. People were listening to records in the store, and I mean, it was just that blew my mind. Like, that seared into my brain.
Also, I did notice one question. They was, every state is a little bit different. There was a question on the registrations and stuff. In Arizona, brand new cars are really, really expensive to register. Um, these cars here, once a car gets around 10, 11 years old, it kind of hits a base price. Like on average, this these cars will run about little 18 to about $18 to $20 a year to register them. In Arizona, you can buy 1 year, 2 years, or 5 years, and the more years you go, the more cheaper it is. Like I have to re-register this Cadillac, and I think it's $32 for 2 years. So just to answer your question, as far as and what's funny is if you try to go historic plates, if you just run regular plates, that's the price. Historic plates are a little bit more expensive per year because I think you have something like that. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't
historic plates are more expensive per year, and I don't even know what it gets you. I don't even know. I don't get why historic plates are more expensive. I'm not sure what kind of benefits it gets you to run historic plates, just to say that you have historic plates. I don't know. But you can buy, and this is the method I would take. You can there's people who actually sell real license plates, like old license plates. Like if you have a 56 car, there's guys out there that sell plates from 1956. They're floating around still. And if the number's not being used, you can use the number. And that's what I did with my 56 Caddy. I didn't register it with historic plates. I bought a matching pair of 56 Arizona plates and registered them and put them on the car. So to me, that's historic plates, not like the designation Arizona can give you or whatever and pay for historic plates. Like those are legitimately 56 plates issued in 56, and that's what I would rather have.
I'm gonna address John real quick. John Ellis. No, the company that I used to work for, we were Crown, Cat, Clark. We lost the Clark dealership probably about, oh boy, it was probably 8 to 10 years ago, and Clark Electrics were never the sit downs. The sit downs were very good trucks, but didn't see Clark. Just we didn't sell a lot of Clarks. So to answer that question, not a lot of Clarks. It was mainly Crown and some Cat, but Crown sold more than Clark.
Let's see. Watching from Los Lunas. Where's Los Lunas? Where's that? Vinyl is final. That's good. Is it easy to sell your cars after their YouTube video? Sometimes it depends on, like, we try to buy cars that once we're done with them, they're sellable items. We're not looking for like the most rare cars, but we are looking for vehicles that are semi sought after, so that when you're done doing work to them, you can actually get rid of them. Because I don't really want to sit on a car for 6 months if I'm done with it and I want it to move. I don't want to sit on it for 6 months. So like Nashes, like a Nash Metropolitan or orphan cars.
You're going to offend someone.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, it's just the facts of life. I mean, I don't want cars that nobody will drive, that no one has interest in, because they're hard to move. That's the problem. Is you'll have a pile of them in your yard and you can't get rid of them because there's a guy right now on Facebook Marketplace who has like a 58. I think it's like a I don't know if it's a Nash Rambler or a Studebaker Lark or something like that. It's one of those weird brand cars. It's like a 58 Nash or a Studebaker or Lark or whatever, and it's a totally complete car. I mean, it's totally complete. Paint is on it. It needs work, but it's just sitting there, all complete. $800, and the guy can't sell it. It's been on there for weeks. Can't even get $800 out of it. If it ran and drove, you probably couldn't even get $1,200 for it. It's just like, some cars are just hard. They drive a hard bargain, and I'm not interested.
Brett was asking, is it worth it to pull a truck or car out of a field? I'm looking for my first, and my friend has a whole junkyard of classics. To answer that question, that's a hard one.
Depends on.
That's a hard one.
Is it worth it to pull a truck or car out of a field? It depends on what kind of truck it is, really. if it's worth it. If it's worth it to you because it's something you like, then it's worth it. If it's like your dream truck, but if you're looking to make some kind of money off of it, then it would need to be like a rare truck or a sought after truck. The is it worth it question is really, it depends upon you. Do you want it for you? Is it your dream truck, or is it something that you're trying to make money on? That's the determining factor.
Also, before a person buys it, my main thing is are parts available for it,
Yeah.
and are there any parts available for it?
Yeah.
But also, what we've run into is even though the parts are available, they're and I'm not slamming any of the companies or anything. It's just something it didn't matter who I bought it from, which company. A lot of the parts and stuff that I bought didn't fit, didn't fit correctly. It it was it was so frustrating because I paid good money for the stuff, for the particular parts or body parts or the little trinkets to put back on the car, and they didn't fit. They wouldn't go back on. And then I would go find one. I would just go find a rando, something off of another old car, and you could pick it up and put it right on. And that's what's very frustrating, as far as any of the restoration goes. Chroming, oh my gosh, it is just
You
so.
can't even do it.
It's just so expensive.
On top of nobody even doing it, once you find someone to do it, it's just get ready to open up your wallet. Just get ready. Let's see. What car have you bought that has the most interesting story? The 64 Caddy limo, maybe? The car that I've bought that has the most interesting story may be that 64 Caddy limo. That might be that was a good story. You know, most of the time I get vehicles and they don't have a good story because they're just so beat up in someone's yard. I don't ever get good stories, you know, like barn find, untouched, original farm owner truck. Like, I wish I had those kind of stories attached to vehicles, but usually I don't. I just get them and they're just some guy, I don't know, I just want it gone. It's just some ugly thing. But the 64 Caddy limo was a good one because apparently the guy we bought it from is named Winton. The story goes that his dad bought that car in 1963 to take Winton home from the hospital the guy we bought it from, because his dad was like a doctor and he had real estate and he rented out houses, so he had some money. And actually I looked it up, and in that year 64, that was the most expensive Cadillac offered, was that a 64 Caddy limousine. That was literally like the highest priced Cadillac you could get, because it was just it's complicated. So he bought that car to take Winton home from the hospital in it when he was born in 64, and his dad drove it for a short time and parked it, and his dad died in 83 or 84, and the limousine was never touched. It sat underneath the carport for 40 years, and then I bought it and then got it running and driving. And this was a pre-YouTube vehicle, and I got it running and driving, and then I sold it to a guy in New Zealand.
There's one interesting story. This 55 Buick that's here, I don't know if Travis showed it. It sets over here. The story I got off of the car
Wait,
was
what car?
this 55 Buick wagon.
Okay, it's over here on another part of the garage.
It was the guy that I got it off of. It was in a total shambles. It was setting in a field, just like it was setting in a field, and they had actually put it in the staging area twice for it to be crushed. They put it up on the concrete, that was going to be the next car. They put it up there, they took it off, then they put it up there again, and the guy said, "No, forget it, I'll just take it home." So he took it home, and I'm glad he did, and I got a hold of it, and now it goes to car shows and it gets to be enjoyed, and I like saving the cars from that fate of being crushed. I understand that everything can't be saved, but I try to save as many as possible. Yeah. Some of them don't get 100% restoration. because everything that gets really repainted real nice, I don't have the enough buildings to put them in. Once you paint them, because also when you buy a car, you have to think about where you're going to put it, because after you have it painted, you got to babysit the paint job, you got to babysit the interior, because you can't just leave it sitting out in the weather after you spend all that kind of money. So that's one big question: is do you have a place to put it? Or if you just like to leave, some of them I like to leave patina, because then it don't bother me if it sets outside, or if you go to a car show and something gets scratched or whatever, you're not fretting over it.
Yeah.
So
John Ellis said, have you ever had a car that you wanted to keep but people wouldn't leave you alone about it? No, I mean, I've never sold a car that I wanted to keep. When it comes down to it, if I sell a car, I've decided in my heart I want to sell it, and once I sell it, I'm not. I've never sold a car and regretted it, and been like, I wish I had. That's the one that got away. Like, if I decide to sell something, then it's fine. But I have, every time I do go to a gas station, either of us, we do get bothered a lot with whatever we're in, because whatever we're in is usually something. I mean, it's pretty cool. I know what it's like to sit on something, but if prices of newer vehicles continue to go up, someone will buy it. Well, it's true. When like what I've learned is that usually anything will sell given enough amount of time. But it's the time factor. Like, yeah, even an unsought after car will sell, but man, sitting on it for 6 months, it's just a long time. Hello from Texas. Interested in that Dodge with the camper. What do you keep in it? Service, tow truck? The one with the camper, you're
talking about your Cummins.
probably talking about my Cummins. What do I keep in it? Are you talking about like engine-wise, or like what do I keep in the camper? Service tow truck. It's not a tow truck or a service truck. That is like a service camper that's on it, that white camper. It's for tools and stuff, but it's got a Cummins in it, 12-valve Cummins. That's my daily. That is my daily. We only use Crown fork trucks in the Corel Dish Factory. Yeah, Crown's good. Used it for 25 years, been working there. Yeah, Crown's good stuff. You should bring some of those pumps to Glendale swap meet to sell. They would sell. I don't know. Maybe they would. I just list them publicly, and I've never. It's crazy. All the buying and selling I do, and I've never been a vendor at a swap meet. Like, I've never gone to a swap meet to sell stuff.
We're usually consumers.
We're usually consumers at a swap meet, not sellers. Are the 80s muscle cars restorable, such as Trans Am, Pontiacs, or their electronics and alloys not maintaining strength? People restore them.
Yeah, the only thing a person has.
I think the last of the muscle cars was really the late 70s. I mean, in the 80s, they didn't really have a lot of iconic muscle cars, did they? And that was all over by the 80s.
The Buick, that Buick.
Turbo Buick?
Yeah, the Turbo
that
Buick.
V6 Turbo Buick?
Yeah, that one I think was.
The Grand National? Or
yeah. But as far as the 80s go, I don't know what your rules are for emissions where you live. I mean, because I actually worked for the GM dealership in the mid '80s, and a lot of the stuff was it's kind of got a combination of carburation, computer, and it's kind of hard to deal with. And I know that some places that you have to have your car checked for emissions, they check all that stuff to make sure it's all working. And it kind of makes it a little bit harder. Although they are nice cars, they're nice looking cars, but you really got to watch it. I mean, I think '87 was about the first year for fuel injection. After that, it really got good. You know, they got a lot better and more easier to service and work on. But the early '80s with the computer controlled carburetors were just boogers to deal with, and having to bring unless you live in a place where you don't got to deal with that. But even then the motors were small, 307s in the Oldsmobiles, 301s in the Pontiacs, 305s in the Chevys. Not a lot of power. Nice looking cars, but not a lot of power.
Drew said, Los Lunas, New Mexico, are you going to restore any gas pumps in the future? Probably not. I would rather find them and preserve them and keep their original patina than paint them up, because again, we don't want to babysit a paint job, really. We've seen lots of them that are painted, but I set them outside, I set them outside. I don't have anywhere inside to put them, for one, and putting them inside it's a disservice because it's taking up space in a place you could be working in. Two, they were made to be put outside like a gas station. So I put them outside because I'm trying to give an atmosphere, or I want it to look like, I'm trying to create some charm around the joint. So yeah, I'm probably not going to paint them. Rockford, Illinois. I know what it's like to sit on. See, hold on. Trying to get it. The only interesting stories I've got was owned by an older lady. Yeah, you usually never really get a banging story. Did your dad save any cars from Cash for Clunkers? That was an old program.
I lived out in California at the time, and there was a lot of Cash for Clunkers, and there was a lot of cars that got gotten
Because of that program.
because of the Cash for Clunkers, and you couldn't sell any of the parts off of them. They had specific rules. They had to pour the motor full of stuff. They had to completely destroy the car to make sure that that dinosaur wasn't polluting anymore. But no, I didn't do any of the Cash for Clunkers.
How's the old tractor running? That yellow one runs good. It's a good running tractor. What about these old cars tends to catch your attention the most? Are the visual features that motivate you to buy one car over another? That's an interesting question. So there's so many factors that go into what we want when we buy a car. First and foremost is completeness. I do not like buying cars that are tore apart, because that's evidence somebody worked on them and did things wrong, and then you might see some fenders and bumpers, but they lost everything in between. There's no hardware. You might see a bunch of the big stuff, but the little stuff could be missing.
Titles.
We want titles and completeness. That's where it begins. Does it have a title, and is it complete? We do not like to inherit other people's failed projects, like where they got halfway through it and then they want to sell it.
All the parts are there.
Yeah, and that's
all the parts are there.
All the parts are there, ready to paint and put back together.
No, it's not.
It is not. That's a total. It's never true. Never is like that. It's they probably got so fed up with it and they just want it out of there. But then, you don't know if the work they did was right. But anyway.
Some states I was just going to say, some states are a lot different on getting cars with no titles. Yeah. You can obtain them easier. The unfortunate thing in Arizona, it used to be not too hard to get a title for a car, but they changed everything that they have to, no matter what condition the car's in, I don't care if it's just a body, they have to rate it a number 1, and you have to go get a bond. I tried to get a title for a 59 wagon, El Camino wagon, and they had to estimate the value of it at $45,000. Well, the bond company wouldn't even issue me a bond for $45,000. They wouldn't even issue a bond. So, title. Some states are different. Our state's a little, I'm sure, some states are a lot easier. Our state's not. It's not as easy as it used to be.
Okay, well, and then also with the question, what about these old cars tend to catch your eye the most? Are there visual features that motivate you to buy it? So, completeness, not tore apart and half-done project, a title, and where on the desirability scale is the car, and how many factory options does it have? Because that determines also if I want to buy it, but it also determines who's going to want it when it's ready to sell. You know what I mean? So if you have a plain Jane car, say you have a 57 Chevy or something that's just a complete plain Jane car, 4 doors, not 2 doors, straight 6, no air, no power steering, no power brakes, no power windows, no power seats, no power nothing, no radio, no clock, just a steering wheel and 4 wheels. I mean, it's a hard sell. Even though it's a 57, it's a hard sell. But if it's got some options and some bling to it, like maybe it has factory air, maybe it has some power seats, power windows, if it's got some cool options and stuff, like, that starts to get more interesting, But you don't always find cars like that where they have all the options and stuff. But that is what I kind of look for and what I like, or what we like. Like that 60 Impala I drove back from New Jersey. That car completely piqued my interest because one, the price was decent. It was complete, totally complete. Wasn't taken apart at all. The hubcaps were off, but they were in the back. It was a V8 with an automatic, which was cool. Wasn't a straight. It was a V8 and an automatic, and it was just so complete. And it was in good shape, and it wasn't rusted out. And that's what piqued my. And it was a cool year. It was a cool body style, and it was a 4-door hardtop, which I thought was interesting. You usually don't see the 4-door hardtop flat tops like that. So that's why I wanted it. And it was and when I sold it, I got good money out of it, and it was because it was in the middle of the scale on the totem pole of desirability and coolness. So, hope that answers your question.
The tools question.
What's
Can I
that?
answer that one?
Wait, hold on. I wouldn't care much if muscle cars got crushed, but it's really sad when land yachts get crushed. Yeah, it is sad. Look, I don't like it. Looking forward to more El Camino videos. Also, yeah, we're gonna be doing more El Camino stuff. Dang, I've sold several cars I regret. I think a lot of people have. Any flying drives? What was the question?
What kind of tools we
Do we
like?
use?
Yeah. Can I answer that one real
Yeah.
quick? I'll just answer it real quick. When I first started out, when I worked with my father back in the day, Snap-on. That was it.
The king.
Yeah, that was it. You were defined as a technician if you had Snap-on. And as years went by, I mean, it was just pounded in my brain. Snap-on. That's the only thing. That's it. Don't even bring another tool in this garage besides Snap. Don't do it. You will get ridiculed to the point to where you couldn't even bring stuff in here that's not Snap-on. But as the years went by, I relaxed that a whole lot. And so, to be honest with you, I still have a lot of Snap-on stuff left over from when I was younger and I had bought all that. And obviously any of you guys that are technicians, you service your toolbox every week. A lot of you guys Snap-on, and you have X amount of dollars that you service your toolbox, $60, $70, $100 a week, and it's a very expensive endeavor. But yes, I was Snap-on all the way. I still believe that Snap-on makes very good tools, and if I have to have something I really, really got to depend on, that I really don't want to break apart and I want it to hang in there, a lot of times, yes, it is Snap-on. But I'll be honest with you, I have bought some stuff from Harbor Freight. A lot of times if I buy stuff from Harbor Freight, it's really not stuff that I use on a daily basis. It might be a one-time use. I get rid of it. So hopefully I answered that question. But I was a Matco, Mac, mainly Snap-on.
Well, yeah, and Snap-on still makes the best tools. Craftsman makes really good tools. DeWalt makes good tools. We have a DeWalt toolkit set that I like. It's a good set of tools. But yeah, Snap-on does make the best tools. But for the price point, like, it's 10 times more expensive and maybe 3 times as good as a cheap tool. So the price hardly justifies. It's just, I mean, how much is a toolbox? $5,000, 10. You can spend $5 or 10 grand on a toolbox. It's like, I got tools sitting in filing cabinets. I mean, what's the difference? It's a fine. I mean, come on. And I bought it for 10 or 20 bucks at a thrift store. I mean, for my electric tools, I just throw my electric tools in a filing cabinet. I use it as a toolbox. Like, why do I need why does anyone need a $5,000 toolbox? You just sit in there. EV pollutes more when they burn. Like when they catch on fire. Yeah, when they catch on fire, that's funny.
And they can't get the fire to go out.
Cash for clunkers was one of the biggest scams ever. Well, it was a ruse to get people to quit driving old cars and to get on board with new stuff, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like what they're trying to do now with, the non-gas burning cars, but whatever. I see the channel from Argentina. Thanks for watching from Argentina. What's your favorite style, era of cars? I like stuff out of the 30s is cool. Everything up until like 70. The 50s is my favorite. I like stuff out of the 40s. The 50s is my favorite. The 60s is kind of cool. But then like after 1970, I really, tell you the truth, don't care.
I like a 72 to 74, 5, 6 Eldorado.
Yeah, Dad likes
I like Eldorados. I love Eldorados.
don't want something with a rebuilt engine. Did they rebuild the entire engine or did they rebuild the bottom of the engine? Oh, like when you're looking at a car to buy, don't want something with a rebuilt engine. Did they rebuild the entire engine or did they rebuild the bottom of the engine, which is partial rebuild? Well, that's what we're talking about, where we don't like to buy cars that are halfway done projects, because they'll say they rebuilt the engine, but they could have just spray painted it for all you know, or you don't know what they mean when they said we rebuilt it. That's a very long word. It's a very short word, but very heavy implications that you don't know. That's why I would just rather get them with, just don't touch it. Just don't touch it. 60 Impala from New Jersey is probably my favorite video series. I think it was everybody's. That is still to this day my best performing videos, but those were the hardest videos to make in my life. I think the part 1 has like 700 some thousand views now. Part 2 has like 300 some thousand. Yeah, that was an epic journey. That was wild.
Maybe you need to do it again.
That was a tough one. Yeah, I need to do it again, but you guys just want to punish me. That's all.
When he was coming back, I gauged everything by hours. Every hour that I didn't hear from him meant that he was about 60 miles closer. So if I had to go get him, he would be 60 miles closer.
The engine in the 48 you replaced with the 235, it had a rod knock. Why not just drive it for fun until it blows up if the engine is worthless? Well, because if you already know the rod's knocking, I mean, your time is limited on this earth, so just might as well, if you're trying to drive the truck, you already know the game is up, the jig is up. Just replace the motor at that point. You can't license it and drive it like that because it could blow up on you going up to McDonald's. So once you hear the rod knock, you know what I'm saying, just when it's in, it's in.
You know, also, we have to understand something too, that just because we was going to take the motor out and get rid of it, I didn't really feel, it's just not in me to just tear something up just to tear it up. And actually, I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad it didn't, because it actually went on to a local museum here in Tucson that a lot of their trucks had the 216s in them, and they were very, very happy to get the engine for their the stuff that they do. And I was happy that it actually went on to another life. Even though we didn't use it, they needed it, and I was happy with that.
I'm trying to look here. How many days do you wait for courier service for parts and equipment, like the mail? Well, it depends. Sometimes, usually not more than a week. If we order something online, it's usually a week or less. Probably 3 days to 7 days, something will get here that we order.
A lot of times when I order stuff, if I order stuff on eBay, which obviously I order a lot of stuff on eBay, I'll look at the location of where the parts are, and usually if it's in the Midwest or the West, I usually have it within about 3 days.
Yeah. My brother said, let's see, yeah, the tool question was the best possible answer. Snap-on makes some great tools. Yeah, they do. They make good tools, and yeah, I have bought tools from Harbor Freight before. My thing is, and I think this is a good philosophy, is like, what? That's just the television, that's fine. I have bought tools from Harbor Freight, and it's like, if I can get by with using a cheap tool, then I will, but if it comes to a head where it's breaking or bending or it's just inadequate, then I'll get an upgraded tool, because you can drop so much money on tools, it's not even funny, you know, if you can get by with a cheaper one.
Perfect example, the snap-on tool question. That's one thing about me, because I grew up with not a lot. And my first snap-on ratchet, I still have it, it's got my name on it, I wrote it on there. And my first snap-on ratchet from the snap-on truck in 1986 was $18. The same snap-on ratchet, because I got on a snap-on truck about 6 months ago and asked the snap-on guy how much that same ratchet is. Same 3/8 ratchet, and it's now, I think, 140, 150.
Is it?
I think it is 140 or $150. That's the price difference from then to now. But obviously, people's wages are a lot higher than they was because
What was minimum wage in '86?
$3.35 an hour. I
Okay.
was working at the Chrysler dealership for $4 an hour.
So, okay, so 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. If the ratchet was 18, you'd have to work 5 hours for a You'd have to work 5 hours for a ratchet, and then you basically, it's more than 5 hours because taxes are taken out of wages. So you would basically have to work an 8-hour day to afford an $18 ratchet.
Well, then a lot of times now, there again, I'm not judging on what the technicians are making. I'm just saying average, a technician might be making $30 an hour, give or take. I know that they're worth a lot more than that but 5 hours times $30, that's 150.
Yeah, and that buys you one ratchet.
So it's almost the same comparison. I know some guys are making more, some guys are making less, but I technicians are worth their weight in gold. A lot of times they're very unappreciated.
Yeah. My favorite era of cars, late 50s to the 80s. Cars never looked right with composite headlights or curvy aerodynamic styling. Cars from the 90s and on have too many curves. Yeah, I mean, they have no pizzazz.
They all look the same.
They all look the same. They have, everything is painted. They got rid of chrome bumpers and trim on the sides. I mean, it's just a painted square going down the road. Just
Pick your color.
Yeah. Gray, white, or black.
Gray, white, or black with a gray interior.
And then another gentleman asked, what software do you use to edit your videos? Alright, so some people would be surprised to know this. I don't have any fancy equipment for doing YouTube. I still use my phone. I use my iPhone to film. I use an app called KineMaster, I don't know how you say it, Kine Master. And that's what I use to edit. It's like $25 a year. And that's what I use to edit my videos, and then I do it on my phone. I save the video to my phone, I post from my phone, I do everything on my phone. I have some wireless mics I got on Amazon that are pretty decent, and then that's how we do it. So I actually bought, because I actually bought an editing computer, laptop, and GoPro and everything, and all this equipment, and I did one video like that, and it was so aggravating that I sent it all back and just went back to my phone. That's what happened.
One quick thing. I try to be as respectful as possible. There was a question quite a while ago, and there was a gentleman that asked about, do we know anything about the cars in Australia? Not a lot. Not a lot. That's the answer to that. Not a lot.
What was it?
Cars in Australia. Do we know anything about? I mean.
Oh no, pretty much nothing.
But I don't know. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But wasn't the big three? Didn't they send a lot of cars down there?
Yeah.
But if I'm wrong, because I do know that a lot of our car parts and a lot of our stuff goes out of the country, and a lot of it goes to Australia because there's a particular website that I go on. It's the HAM.
HAMB.
HAMB. I go on there, and I see a lot of guys from Australia looking for parts for American cars. I do see that. It's not putting any questions up here.
I can see it from
Okay.
here. You guys must have AC in that garage. I'm in my garage in Peoria, and I'm about to die 114 today. Well, so two things are working for us. One, we have a swamp cooler, and if it's humid, so it's like doing the best it can. But
we got rain, and it cooled off.
Yeah, it's cloud. It's really cloudy and overcast. So that's what is saving us. What?
I'll tell you exactly what the temperature is.
Oh, he's looking at the thermometer.
It's 88 degrees here right now.
It's 88 degrees here right now, which is bearable.
Totally bearable.
Hey, this square body guy said, "Hey Dad, were you born in the '60s like me?"
I'm a 65 vintage person.
Yeah. Are you guys going to duct tape drags? Think you guys should take the new El Camino? Yes, we are going to go to the duct tape drags. You know why we're going to the duct tape drags probably every year from here on out is because it's the only event we can go to. I mean, every single event, think about it. The Power Tour, all the Freedom Factory stuff that who's that guy? Cletus McFarland does down in Florida. All the drives and the tours and the big car shows, they're all 1,000, 1,500 miles away from us. I mean, for people who are in other countries watching us, you have to understand that America is humongous. I mean, all these events are 1,000 miles away. I mean, it would take you 3 days of straight driving just to get there, just to spend 2 days at these events and then drive back. I mean,
I would like to go to the duct tape drags. I met so many nice people out there.
yeah.
So many nice people. You'll have to forgive me, I forgot his name. A gentleman took vacation. He lived in Florida and come out here and just to visit, sit and visit. You know, total respect. Total respect. You don't just be disrespectful to people that just did something like that. You sit and talk and thank them.
Yeah.
Thank them for doing that. Always be that way. Always be respectful. Always be nice.
Yeah, that was really crazy to us because we
did not expect that. I did.
We said, hey, we're going to the duct tape drags and we'll be there. And there was a gentleman that flew out from Florida.
But actually, there was another person that came down from Washington.
Right. Yeah, there was a couple. Yeah, one guy flew in from Florida. One guy came from Washington to see us. And I thought that was crazy. I never thought that was.
We didn't think that.
I didn't think anybody was that dedicated to liking what we do, and that was really an eye opener.
Actually, I didn't know if anybody would.
I didn't know anybody watched.
I didn't know anybody was watching. They was going to come, and then when they told me that, I mean, it's like, what?
Yeah, that was wild. That was a trip, man.
And I just sat and visited with him for, I bet you probably an hour and a half, and it was a really good conversation. I really enjoyed it. Always be respectful.
And then a couple of guys, Mr. and another one, said, thank you for spending time with us on the live. Yeah, no problem. We've never done a live. Been wanting to do this for a while.
We'd like to invite you all over. But
yeah, we'd like to have a big old fire, but this is our...
Hamburgers, hot dogs.
Yeah. We got some... Peter said we got some Peter said we got some most were base models in Australia, I think. Travis, what's the story behind the caddy? So the caddy was...
Which one? Yours?
Yeah.
Or the green one?
The green one that we showed you, or my white one? Because we talked a little bit about the story of the green one, how it was in this guy Winton's yard, and the bumpers were off because the guy was trying to save the bumpers from being stole, and it sat under a carport since the 80s. If you're talking about my white caddy, that's another story. Yeah. Any specific car you really want to own that you haven't found yet? I want a 59 Cadillac and I want a 57 Plymouth Fury. A 58 Plymouth Fury because it was in the movie Christine. I love that movie, Christine. That was a great movie. Love to have a 58 Plymouth Fury. Never see them for sale though.
I'm gonna hit you from the side.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hit you from the side. I'd like to find another Monte Carlo, 74, 77, no 73 to 77. I'd really like to have a 73 with a factory big block in it. That would be my car. Or anywhere 73 to 77. I'm hitting you from the side, but I love the 50s cars. I love them. But that was my first car. That's what I grew up with, and that's why so many things have changed in the car industry. That's why the square bodies are big right now, is because a lot of the guys that grew up are now into the square bodies, and it's the face of the antique cars are changing because the guys are growing older and they're wanting the stuff they used to drive.
Or that they remember their dad having, which was like a 70s
pickup.
square body.
Yeah, now that's what I'm noticing.
Yeah, those are the values that are coming up, and the 50s cars are falling out of vogue.
When I first started going to Barrett Jackson's in the early 2000s, before he went, a lot of the cars that were going across the block were 50s cars, beautiful 50s cars. And then we're talking, that's been 18 years ago. Well, you got to think about the age of the guys that were interested in the '56 Cadillac. Unfortunately, a lot of them, they've had to get rid of their collections and they've moved on. And now you're talking about guys that 20 years later, now they're in their 50s and they're not interested in a '50s car because that's not what they grew up in.
Right.
Some people did, some people didn't.
It's not within living memory for most people now.
No.
Oh, Don said the white one. So the white Cadillac, the one you see in the background of the videos, again, next to my 50 GMC, that car, after I got my GMC done, I always wanted a Cadillac. I always wanted one, a 50s Cadillac, ever since I was like 13, and finally found that one on I started my first job, by the way, okay, when I was 16, and I saved up for like probably 6 months before I found that car on Craigslist. It was all tore up, didn't look like that at all. I bought it for $1,800 a couple of weeks before I turned 17, and then I restored it, you know, over the course of senior year in high school, and then a few years of college is when I was restoring it. So I got that car done by the time I was 20, 21.
There is a backstory with the car. I don't know if you remember it or not.
Yeah, the backstory.
Insurance salesman.
I don't know the whole backstory.
I do.
What was it? I don't remember.
An insurance salesman owned the car, and I actually found out later on that every car that he ever bought, he kept it. He didn't sell it, and he put them in his backyard. And that particular Cadillac, it ran for many, many years in his backyard. And he would take, the story I got was the car still ran, the air conditioner still worked, and he would take his grandkids and they'd go sit in the car and start the car and turn the air conditioner on.
Because the air conditioner still worked.
It still worked at the time.
But I figured out the reason they parked it when I got it is the transmission was, once I actually got it running, the transmission was smoked, yeah. So that's why they quit driving it. Some good biz kid said, Travis, what do you do for a living? I do this for a living. Film YouTube videos, buy cars, work on them, put them on YouTube, sell them when we're done, and then some people might not have seen yet, but we put some gas pump content in there. We like old gas pumps, like out of the 20s, the Visibles, 30s, 40s, 50s gas pumps, so we'll buy them, we'll do a little work to them, we'll sell the gas pumps. Yeah, and that's what we do. We buy and sell stuff, cars, gas pumps, and signs, and YouTube, and that's what we do for a living, and we just hodgepodge of different things we're into. I have a hard time wrenching due to having younger children. I feel bad seeing them playing and me not being a part of it. I know one day they'll grow up. How do you have kids, and if so, how do you balance it? I don't have kids yet, but Dad...
I can answer that.
Dad's got a kid.
I can answer that. Whenever he was real young, I don't know how old your kids are, but I used to do a lot of side work, and I had to stop all of it. I had to stop every single bit of it because I did not want to not be there, and to cut a 3 or 4 year old kid loose in the garage, in my opinion, it was dangerous, and it would have been my head if he'd have been hurt, because my wife would have got me real good. But I had to wait. You may have to wait. You may have to wait because they're the most important.
And they're only young ones.
They're only young ones. They are the most important thing you will ever do.
The car's still going to be sitting there.
The cars will still be sitting there.
Believe me, we've seen a lot of cars that have just been sitting there for 30 years, and it'll be there. We are watching you while grinding feed for the first calf heifers. It's hot in eastern Oklahoma. A working man, a blue-collar man. That's what I like. It's hot in eastern Oklahoma. I'm sure it's hot and
Oklahoma.
humid. I'm sure it's humid too, man.
I like Oklahoma. A lot of good people.
Fun watching your channel grow. Thank you. We like to see it grow, you know, because you guys watching is, you know, the money that comes from YouTube is from directly the views. Don't know how much you guys know about that, but the more views you get and the more watch time, the longer people watch, the more money you make. So it's literally, you remember PBS where they would say, this show is possible because of viewers like you.
Yeah, yeah.
And I never cared about that. Like, I was little and I would hear that on PBS. This programming is possible because of viewers like you. And I thought, what do you mean? It was free. I just watched it. How is it possible? Because I just watched it. But actually, by you watching, YouTube can show the commercials, and that is where the money comes from. It's split between YouTube. 55% of that ad revenue goes to YouTube. 45% goes to the creator. So it is because of viewers like you that we do this, and we like to see it grow and everything. And you know, yes.
I never have been able to get figured out if you're supposed to watch the whole advertisement.
I don't either. I don't know. Is this heat going to change how you do business? Well, it slows us down a little bit just because you just cannot be going and picking up cars in 110 degree heat. You just can't do it. But you can work on them under a carport. So like
you have to get creative.
Yeah, you have to be a little strategic with how you do things, but we still manage to get things done. Doug said hello. What's up, Doug? Are you interested in Blazers and Jimmys? Yeah, I'm interested. Email me. I have my email in the description of all my videos. If you have a cool car that you want to maybe sell or something, I don't know. If it's a flying drive or if it's close enough we could get, email us. Because I'm always looking for stuff all the time. Great story. Keep up the good work. Thanks, Don. Eli said, how much do you make from doing YouTube? It varies every month. It's hard to really put a number on it.
You can't put a number on it.
Yeah, it swings wildly. Love what you're doing. Quickly became my favorite channel. Thank you, Doug. Cornwell tools are not that bad. I don't have a lot of Cornwell tools.
I used to buy a lot of Cornwell tools. Cornwell tools were just fine. There's interesting stuff I've heard about. Didn't know any of this. That actually the tools that you buy that have the Caterpillar brand name on them are Snap-on.
Oh, really?
That's what I heard. I don't know if there's any truth to it or not, but that's what I heard. And they're half the price. Don't quote me on that. Don't get mad at me.
Seems like you could use a bit of volume, get closer to the mic. I only have one mic. It's right here, so like, you know, doing the best we can there. People can seem to be hearing us. They keep asking questions. Unless they're just asking questions and wondering why we're not answering. I make sure to watch every video all the way, sometimes more than once. Thank you. That's awesome. We like it when we appreciate you guys watching the videos.
I do read the comments, even if it's a bad comment. I have to keep my mouth shut. I can't say nothing. I can't say anything, but I do read everything. And there are so many people. You can't judge all the comments because there's always a hater. There's always a hater, but you can't let one person out of 500 ruin it for everybody. So I just let them go. Some people are miserable.
Yeah. Any spoilers for the near future videos? Well, the next video is probably going to be on that El Camino again. You know, we're still working on that.
That thing was bad.
Yeah, that thing it's roached. You know, so
it's bad.
The next video is probably going to be on that El Camino again.
It's bad.
The first one I watched was the Ford COE. Yeah, that one of Ron's, that green one. That was a cool one.
And it's still around. He still owns it.
There's a 48 Chrysler on Missoula Craigslist. That's cool. That's neat looking cars. We bought a new 1975 Monte Carlo. Great car.
Love. Good cars. $350.
Roman said, great to catch alive. It's been forever. Gotta go. You and your dad take it easy. Hey, take it easy. Thanks for hanging out.
Thank you.
Rick, do you need a new chair, or is that a chair for life?
This chair has a story behind it. This chair was a judge's chair in the state of Arizona, still has the tag on it. It's got a right-hand rake to it. Obviously, it's because I've caused it to have a right-hand rake. But I like this chair.
Yeah.
I like this chair. I can straighten
look
up.
at the armrests.
Oh, it's for me
riding it.
Well, it's for me having a lot of conversations with him.
Yeah.
I can straighten it out, but if I straighten it out too much, there's a bolt in it that comes out, and the whole chair goes sideways.
I've been watching since the beginning when we used to do lives and we listened to oldies. That was actually on TikTok. That was before YouTube even. Because of you, I got my Jefferson Golden Hour clock. Always love supporting you. Hey, that's awesome. Yeah, I know. I remember you, Terry. Yeah, he bought a Golden Hour mystery clock. If you guys don't know what a Golden Hour mystery clock is, you got to look them up. It's called the Jefferson Golden Hour mystery clock. I have one in my house, and they're pretty wild looking clocks. It's like a table clock, and the arms are in midair, and you can't tell how it keeps time. You got to look it up. They're cool clocks. You got to have thick skin reading comment section. Yeah, the comments are ruthless. Like, if you want to know how you're actually performing, read the comments.
Oh, yeah,
because
read
nobody's going to hold back because they're through an invisible screen. They're going to tell you what they really think. Like, it's like little toddlers. They will tell you what they think about you. They'll rail you. So yeah, the comments are really where you're going to get your best feedback. So
You don't know how many times I've read comments because obviously I'm from a different school. And I'd say, man, I'd like to really call this guy on the phone and give him a good talking to.
yeah.
But no, I just keep my mouth shut.
Power Tour was a joke this year. Too many newer cars.
Mustangs. Everybody's got a Mustang and a Chevelle.
Well, what we see a lot of, and even at the auctions, is just muscle car after muscle car after muscle car after muscle car, and it's like I don't know what it is. Everybody thinks they got the fastest, rarest muscle car. If anyone has a muscle car, it's the fastest and rarest one. And I think people, I don't know, it doesn't do anything.
They don't do much for me.
No, it doesn't do much for me. I really
Not
don't
at all.
care. Because,
I'd take one if you give it to me, but I'd probably get rid of it.
I am loving the current El Camino build. Heck yeah.
It's a beater.
It's a beater.
It's a beater.
Been watching this show for a long time. Always look forward to the next episode. Moved to Gilbert 4 years ago. Love Arizona. Yeah, hey, Arizona's where it's at. A lot of people are moving here from certain states. You know why. That looks like an awesomely comfortable chair. Yeah, that chair is a riding chair. You just get in that thing and ride.
Oh, yeah. It's a good ride, man. I enjoy this chair. There's been a lot of stuff figured out in this chair.
Yeah. What is your favorite project? Let's see. What is your favorite project to date? My favorite project is probably the project that did the best was that international. That kind of put us on the map, so to speak. That one got us a lot of new subscribers. That's a really cool truck.
I think it was the funnest.
Yeah, that one was cool, and I think one of my favorite projects on the channel is that one we just did on that 48 Chevy that I put the video out on at the beginning of the year. We did like 6 videos on where we redid the motor, and we went to New Mexico to get it, and we put a new 235 in it and everything. I like that truck personally because my first truck is that 50 GMC, and it's the same advanced design body style. Every time I look at them in the dash, I can just remember doing my truck and everything. And so I like that project because I like the trucks. I'm familiar with them. I like driving them. I like the way they look. I love the patina on that thing. It's just, man, it's perfect. And I like driving around. And you can get in that thing. That thing is reliable.
It runs good.
Oh my gosh, it runs good.
I've never seen steering like that. It's like power steering. I don't get it. I don't understand how that truck could steer that easy. I don't get. You'd be wasting your time putting power steering on it.
Bryant said, "What up, Travis? I tried to find a GMC truck on Facebook for your 6-cylinder, but unfortunately it's too hard to find one with no engine for you." No worries, man. We look all the time. Don't feel bad. We're always looking at the same rate. Just got to say, you are a shining light of motivation for me to achieve my goals. Own a house, shop antique, build cars. There's a lot of power behind what you provide for us. Thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you. That means a lot. It's kind of interesting because we just work every day, really, and it's interesting, and it means a lot to us when other people see it as motivation or inspiring. We've had a lot of people tell us that what we do is very inspiring. And that makes us feel good, and it's a life we feel comfortable with, and that we like doing every day, and that we work towards all the time.
Agreed. and it's enjoyable. I enjoy it. It's not all fun constantly. I mean, anybody that that says it's not always that way, but you get a good sense of accomplishment. I see so many stalled projects, and I just hope that maybe we can inspire people. A lot of the times that what we're trying to inspire people, because you you watch a lot of the stuff on TV, and that's what frustrated me about some certain TV shows. And I'm not going to say nothing because I enjoyed them and I watched them, but reality for me and reality for Travis is when we get a car, um, a, a a box load of stuff doesn't show up in the mail. Thousands and thousands of dollars worth
Yeah.
of stuff just doesn't show up.
Like $1,000 rims, $1,000 tires,
We don't have that
shiny
kind of
chrome
money.
parts. They just roll it out on a dolly, and they have all kinds of special tools that no one's ever seen before to do things, and like that stuff. Who is doing that? Like nobody can do that. Like and if you go back and watch a lot of the the car shows out of the late '90s, early 2000s. They had a tool for everything. Like everything in those shows seemed to fit together perfectly with no modification. With just get this little tool, and if you don't have, and we're putting this together, but we have this special tool to do it, which is not a big deal. It'll really help you out, but like that tool's not for sale anywhere. It's expensive. Like, and everything was just not within reach of any regular person to do. It's like whatever.
And that's mainly what we're trying to show on the channel, is that you don't have to be a multimillionaire to restore your car. Yes, you will have to put in a lot of effort,
Yeah.
but you may have to do that.
You might have to get creative.
You may have to trade your effort for the money you would have to spend to get the other object, if that
Right.
makes sense.
What you lack in money, you have to make up for in grit and creativity and determination.
Correct.
I gotta head out, guys. Thanks for the content. See you at the duct tape drags. Yeah, we will.
I
see
think
you,
we're going to
Eli.
go, yeah.
Oh,
for
we're
sure.
gonna go for sure.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like to see a video on that wagon. Are you talking about the '59 wagon? Yeah.
We can do that.
I bet you guys don't forget to check the oil. I bet you guys don't forget to check the oil.
Stop
I
it,
know
stop
how I
it.
played that off on the video.
Stop it.
That's funny.
That was you.
No, it wasn't me. I was there.
It was
so
you.
was 20,000 other people.
It was you.
Terry said, I agree, your channel is very inspiring. I have so many vehicles just sitting, rotting, watching your videos, currently watching the 48 Chevy series, and it makes me want to finish things. Hey, that's good, man, just got to get out there, and, it seems overwhelming when you get out there, but you really just got to just take one thing at a time and just...
Don't think about the whole project as a whole, because it'll overwhelm you to the point to where you'll get nothing done.
Yeah.
Try to pick one thing and get that done, and once that sense of accomplishment hits you, it'll inspire you to do more. But but don't try to think about the whole job as a whole and how much it's going to cost. Start small and do as many small things as you can, because it will inspire you. It will inspire you. And swap meets are your friends.
Swap meets and eBay.
We get a lot of stuff off of eBay, swap meets, stuff like that.
Hi from Australia. My dad's got an Australian-built 1959 Impala right-hand drive. It's a farm wreck. It's missing a lot of stuff and motor. It's a cool car, though. I also got my dad's 1970 HT Holden going. That's cool. Yeah, that 59 Impala, that's a cool car. Those are sought after here.
They're sought after here, yes they are.
John said, I liked that brake, steering, and suspension rebuild in the car park near Napa. That's why I watch your channel. What was that? What was that? I don't remember doing that. I don't remember doing that, John. Doug said, you are using what you have. Yeah, we're using what we got.
Use what you got.
I'd be happy working like both of you. I'm tired of my JOB and I'm currently working towards the life I want. At least I have the JOB to support me on my way. Yeah, no, that is important, because what a lot of people do, because, well, we work for ourselves basically doing this stuff. We don't have a job. This is our job. And the thing about it is you can't just quit your job one day and say, I'm going to be a YouTuber like Vice-Grip Garage or like No Nonsense Know-How or Pole Barn Garage or us or whoever else. You know what I'm saying? You can't. I'm going to be a YouTuber. You have to make money now to feed the thing that may make money in the future, because it could be years before it makes any money. So you have to have some immediate and reliable source of income, basically to fund the losses you're going to have for a couple of years until it starts to go anywhere. So that's the best way to do it.
Yeah, a lot of times I follow people. I still watch people on YouTube. A lot of people, and Pole Barn did have it. He had a full-time job. I was curious about that, but I think recently I see he just kept working until YouTube got him to the point to where it could feed him, and then that's all he does. And I applaud him for that.
What is the duct tape drags? When and where is it? It's in Tucson Motor Speedway, and usually in October.
September, isn't it?
Oh, late September.
It was hot.
Yeah. It's just like a get-together of like the duct tape drags. It's like hoopties going down the drag strip in a car show. It's put on by like the Roadkill guys, David Freiberger and the other guy, and
last year
Vice-Grip was there, and that's where I met Chris from No Nonsense. I think a guy earlier said I met you from, or I found your channel from No Nonsense. Me and Chris from No Nonsense and his girlfriend Jen met up at the duct tape drags, and I like him. I like the guy. I like his stuff. I consider him a friend. He's a smart guy. Swift, thinks on his feet. I like people like that. He thinks on his feet. He's smart. He is a very capable person. He's an extremely capable person, and I admire that. And I would like to hang out with him in the future if he comes to the duct tape drags. And I've thought about doing a flying drive over there where he lives in Philly and going up to his neck of the woods. So that would be cool. That's why I like y'all's channel, and also put in, you show the struggles behind the scenes, and you can do this with minimal tools. Thank you.
You have to show the reality of it. You have to show the reality of it, because that's actually that's the real part. You are going to wind up in the dirt, and you're going to wind up in the grease, and you're going to wind up with stuff that's broken. You're going to wind up there, and I think it's good that some of it's boring to people. I get that. I understand it. You can't show everything because there's so many hours that are tedious. People don't want to watch that stuff. Not all of it, but some of it you don't show it because it takes so long to work through some stuff that people don't. They lose interest in it.
Let's see. How about that Speed Bump Garage kid? I love what he is up to. Yeah, that's this Speed Bump Garage. It's like this little, maybe 12, 13-year-old kid that's been making videos on old cars.
Oh, really? No,
and he's been blowing up. That dude's been passing milestones like lightning fast, like way faster than us. Probably because he's like, he's a kid and he's interested, and he's already like.
It's good that there's young folks.
He's already been on, I think, that podcast that video podcast thing that Derek Vice-Grip does, Through the Aisles. I think he's Speed Bump Garage. I don't know the kid's name, and his dad were on that podcast show video already, and that Speed Bump Garage kid's already been on something with O'Reilly, sponsored by O'Reilly or something like that, which is cool. It's cool. I mean, I hope success on him, because not everybody hits it. Not everybody strikes it where they get opportunity like that at a young age to probably make some cash. I hope he makes all the cash you can, because you gotta, if it's in front of you, you gotta grab it. Have you ever thought about going on Power Tour? We talked about this a little earlier, but probably not, because Power Tour starts and ends like 1,500 miles away from us. Yeah, it's 1,500 miles east. It's way too far away. Way too far away. I mean, we would be driving the length of the Power Tour just to get to Power Tour. I mean, and driving that length back. It's just crazy. It's too much. Especially in a hoopty or something that is not 100% reliable. I mean, you're just asking for it. You're just asking for it.
What? Not 100% reliable?
Okay. Love the way you guys appreciate other YouTubers that I watch all the time. Great people, including you. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, is I don't see other car YouTubers as like competition or like like Apple and Microsoft see each other as competition. They try and beat each other. Pepsi and Coke try to beat each other. Like they work in tandem, but they're trying to gain market share from the other one. Walmart and Kroger, they're always locked in this competition. Now, there is a competition for eyes and for views between all of us, but I don't dislike any of the other people. I've only met Chris from No Nonsense, but I know of everyone else. Obviously, their videos are public. Of Puddin' and Pole Barn and Vice Grip and
Sleeper Dude.
Sleeper Dude.
He's
Yeah,
a very
Sleeper
good,
Dude's family man.
He's a very good family
And
man.
we are all competing for views, yes, but I don't try to gain views by taking views away from like Sleeper Dude.
It'll backfire on you.
Yeah, I mean, there's enough for everybody. So I really don't.
When I go in the house at night, that's what I do. I sit and I watch videos. I like that better than I do cable. I don't even have cable. I don't even have cable. I just got YouTube. So.
Let's see. Well, Terry said I'm putting that on my calendar. Duct tape drags, I think. Yeah, no, you should come out. It's cool. Like sanding cars for days. Yeah, people don't want to see that. It's like boring,
They don't want
tedious
to see
work.
it.
Any collaborations
You might hit
planned?
some highlights.
Yeah, highlights.
Some highlights of what you're doing, but there's guys on there that very, very good with metal work, and I enjoy watching it, but I can see where a lot of people don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
I understand.
Any collaborations planned for your channel? No, not planned, but could be in the future, but not that I have any planned. There's also the dorm room mechanic I've seen on Instagram, built a V8, and I've seen that. I've seen clips of that too. Yeah,
He built it in his dorm room?
Yeah, he built like an engine in his dorm room or something.
Oh, I bet they had something to say to him.
Yeah, those restored pumps look cool, but do you ever have people pulling up for gas with the huge lighted sign? No, I've never had anybody actually pull up for gas.
Nobody's ever heard of FINA. I grew up with FINA gas stations. Travis didn't.
I don't think you're competing. I think the same eyeballs watch all of you. Yeah, I think I've seen comments from people on my videos commenting on other guys' videos. Like their username, like I see a comment on my video from like a username, and then like I'll watch somebody else's video and I'll see their username on another video.
Oh yeah.
Like
I'm
sure that we're all running in the same game. Car and truck people don't typically work against each other. Yeah, it's an interesting.
Don't do it.
Car culture is an interesting thing because we're not in. It's just really a bunch of nice, good, hard-working, salt of the earth kind of people who are into cars. I don't think there's a lot of animosity in the car world. I think there may be between completely different classes of people who are into cars, like different car cultures. Maybe don't like the other kind. Like for instance, like. The people that like doing what we do, like we're not building lowriders. You know what I mean? I don't have any hatred towards them, but like what they're doing is just so far away. It's in another world, like the lowrider and the hydraulics and all that. Like we're probably not commingling, because they're into that and we're into this. And
But
that's just how
they
it
build
is.
cool stuff.
Yeah. Good evening from a cold and damp Buenos Aires. I don't know where that is, but that's cool. Anyone want to laugh? There's one 1967 V8 El Camino for sale here in my country for $100 US. But what shape is it in? That's the big question. Do you wish you had a hydraulic lift? I do have a hydraulic lift, but it's sitting outside waiting for me to build a building around it. Then I can put it up. But yeah, I have one. I just don't have anywhere to put it yet. But it was a good deal. That's why I bought it. Your channel is great. Thank you, Ray. Peter said, pick your year of car pickup and watch the guys that work on them. We had FINA here. Pick your year of car pickup and watch the guys that work on them. Yeah, we had FINA here. Yeah, so there are parts. Yeah, like my FINA pole sign. FINA is probably a little bit lesser known than like Texaco or Sinclair, but they were around. YouTube videos are far superior to what Motor Trend puts out. I think a lot of people think that, and I've thought about this too, about how YouTube is basically the new Hollywood, and I think cable is eventually going to go defunct because of YouTube, and they're losing like Charter Communications provides cable. I just read that they, for the first time, I think, lost subscribers to broadband because why? YouTube, Netflix, everything else. But yeah, YouTube is the new Hollywood.
Actually, you can actually speak to the people that are doing the creating a lot of you can actually speak to them, and I think they more identify with the regular people. I know there's a lot of people with a lot of money, and they don't have any problem spending a lot of money on a car to put it together, but then there's a lot of people that don't. But there's people that want the cars, and we're just trying to bridge that gap to make it to where, yes, you can attain that. You may not get disc brakes on the front right now, but you can go ahead and fix the drum brakes, and then in the future at a swap meet or something, pick up the disc brake changeover. You can find it at a better price. So, are you?
I'm getting a water.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this fridge right here is 1930s General Electric, and it works. Why is this half done? Is this yours?
Don't worry about it. Put it back in there. That's mine.
Oh, not $100, 100,000. Oh, that's
Oh.
crazy. Yeah, that changes
Where?
the story of
Where's
things.
that at? Where's
No,
that at?
no, thank you. That's crazy.
I'll send you a couple, and I'll sell them to you for 50.
Yeah, I'll
I'll
sell.
sell them to you for 50.
I will gladly sell you a few for 50 if he wants 100 for his. Yeah, I got on.
I'll
your
send you
channel-
4 for 100.
Yeah,
I can do that.
I got on your channel from Diesel Creek and No Nonsense. Everybody gets likes from me or top 3 for me. That means a lot. Thank you. I'm glad. Well, it means a lot because if I'm top 3 or if we're top 3 for some people and they're watching No Nonsense and Diesel Creek, which they have. I mean, I think Diesel Creek's got close to 1 million subscribers or something
got
like
a
that.
lot.
And No Nonsense has over 500,000. So if people like our content as much as them, that means that someday we'll have 500,000 or 1 million subscribers. So
Really?
oh, yeah, that'd be cool.
All right.
Because that means that tells me that my editing is decent and that I'm just as watchable as those guys. And what in the world?
What's wrong? Is there a bug in there?
Yeah, the bug in my juice.
There's snakes in your boots.
Yeah. What?
What's next?
See, we got. Yeah, I got. By the way, Buenos Aires is the capital of Argentina. I think Argentina's in South America. What's the fastest you've ever driven? On a legally closed road, of course. Wink, wink. I don't know. I've never really driven like that fast. I've never owned anything that was mega fast. So.
I can answer that.
Yeah, Dad has a cool story.
One time in 1970, I used to visit my dad. He lived here in Arizona. He had a 1970, it was a yellow Cuda. And now mind you, no, it would have been around 1973. So I would have probably been around 9 years old. 1970 Cuda, the speedometer said 160. It said 160. And back then, I-10 was fairly new from Benson to Tucson. So I think that I can tell this story. I was 8 years old. He buried that speedometer at 160 mile an hour in that Cuda, because I remember I was looking over as a kid and I was looking at that speedometer and it was buried. And I remember it had a pistol grip shifter. So yes, that's probably close to the fastest I've ever been, but I did see that speedometer buried.
That's crazy.
I did see that. I was about 8, 9 years old.
YouTube is a lot better than TV, yeah.
Yes, it is. YouTube is a lot better than TV. I enjoy it.
Don't ever lose that home-built engine lift plate. I like the story behind it. Oh yeah, the engine lift plate we use, it was something my dad's dad made back in the 60s. But they sell them now, but they didn't sell engine lift plates then. And then it was a homemade lift plate. And every time an engine would come into the shop he had to tear out, he would drill a new set of holes in it. So the plate has like a bunch of different sets of holes in it, and you can put it on almost any old engine and it'll pull it out.
I've yet to see a vehicle that, even a newer one, I've yet to see it one that it don't fit. So it fits everything.
It's not the editing and fancy effects that makes a good channel. It's real folks who we can identify with and putting forth engaging and enjoyable content. Yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head.
It should be that way. It should be that way.
What mic is that? Such good and loud sound quality. This is the Rode Wireless Go 2. You can look them up on Amazon. It's a wireless mic. You can plug it into your phone. The Rode Wireless Go 2. I'll tell you why your channel is taking off. You guys are real. Thanks.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I think that's probably right. I would hope.
People don't want to see drama. They don't want to see him and I arguing, nothing like that. But really, in all reality, we don't. We've kind of worked together, well, from 15, 16, 17 years. Used to, when he was younger, you wouldn't have wanted that on YouTube.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't have made it on the internet because it wasn't as nice. But now, once I got the picture and I got the hang of it, and once I was able to, once I was able to get the picture, things got better. But in the beginning, it was not.
Wasn't that way.
It wasn't YouTube friendly. Did you guys mention your first cars already? I missed the very beginning. Yeah, my first vehicle was the 1950 GMC you guys see in the background in all my videos, the red and white one. That was my first vehicle, still have it. And then Dad's first vehicle was, what was it, a 74 Monte Carlo? Yeah. Oh, Ray sent us $5. Thank you. Thanks, Ray.
Thank you, Ray. Thank you. Something bad?
No, you guys seem to have a pretty good relationship. FJB.
Thank you.
You know.
That's all I got to say.
Yeah, there you go. How many cars and trucks do you currently own? Man, I don't even know. I'd have to count them on my head. I don't remember. It's over, between the two of us, it's over 13, 14.
Oh, it's more than that.
Yeah. Y'all are one of my favorite channels. I watch Chris and Puddin and Dalton and all those other guys too, but y'all are right there with them. I really like y'all's taste in cars and stuff too. Thanks. That's good feedback for us to know that we're on the right track and we're not just peeing in the wind.
But you know what was interesting? Travis was kind of questioning whether or not that we did a first start on that little diesel car, and I really didn't know. I really didn't know if it would go over, but I try not to just beat the same drum all the time. I just kind of wanted to do something different, and I found out through reading the comments that there are a lot of people in Europe that watch our videos, and there was a lot of comments from people in Europe, and I didn't know that. I guess
that's an iconic car over there.
It is. It's a very iconic car. I didn't know that. Lots of comments from Europe.
I see that travel trailer in the background a lot. Ever think of doing an episode towing that on a trip somewhere, maybe with a truck you revived? What travel trailer? What?
It's the guy that's written.
Oh. No, I don't think so. Probably not. First vehicle was a 65 Chevy C23 on the tree running, going to make it a driver. So Oh, wait. 320. My first vehicle was a 65 Chevy, 3 on the tree, 327. That's a good combo.
That's a good combo. Good motor.
I got a
327.
I got a 50 Olds 88 I'm currently getting running, going to make it a driver. That's awesome. That's a cool car.
Does it have power windows?
Does it have power windows? Why? Because were they hydraulic?
They were hydraulic, I think, in 50. All the way up to 53.
Professor Bash said, well, yeah, hi from Europe. Huh. That's cool. Watching from Europe. That's nuts.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Have a favorite wheel and tire combo? Steelies and wide whites with pie crust tread top of... Steelies, wide whites with pie
Love
crust
wide whites.
tread top. Yeah. Okay, so if it's not an original wheel tire combo, I think generally our favorite wheel tire combo that looks good on most stuff is Rally Sport wheels with 15-inch tires. Those look pretty fair on anything. But I like steel wheels and whatever the factory chrome hubcap was, and gangster wide whites. That's my favorite on any 50s car or truck. They look good on trucks too.
Yeah,
I mean, look
good.
at that 48 Chevy that we just did. It's got the original Chevy hubcaps, the steel wheels, and the big gangster wide bias ply white walls.
Even that Beater International has the wide whites.
Yeah, even the International's got white walls, and I love white walls. Put them on everything. Whatever it is, put white walls on it. I love white wall tires. And if it's not the factory rim and hubcap combo, then Rally Sports. I don't like really racy looking tires. I am not into flashy looking rims. Some people are they love like Krager SS's, and people have all these crazy names for all these fancy rims, and
Travis don't like them.
I don't like
I kind of do.
I don't really care for Krager
I kinda
SS's, and
I grew up with Krager SS's. That's what I had on my 74 Monte Carlo.
I'd have took them right off.
No. I should have put rallies on it. But anyway, go ahead.
I love the way you restore things low budget, just fix broken and let things original. You're my favorite channel. Hi from an Italian living in Mexico. Thank you. I'd love to see a video on that diesel pickup you guys were talking about earlier. You're talking about my Cummins, like my 12 valve?
Yeah, the one with the camper shell.
Oh. Well, there's not a whole lot to show there. It's really just my daily driver. It's not like a project. It's just what I drive around all the time. I don't know if it can constitute an entire video, but it's just there. It's just my daily. It is a really clean original truck though. Hi Todd, my first is 76. It was a 4-speed, now V8 auto. That's a good upgrade. Oh, Ray said it's hydraulic wiper. Oh, hydraulic.
Hydraulics?
Yeah, that's a crazy system.
What? Let's see. Tell him to watch. There's a really good video on a guy. Cold War Motors. Cold War Motors. He just got through fixing the hydraulics windows in his Oldsmobile. It's a good video.
That is wild. Hydraulics and the
Hydraulics, yeah. Expensive, very expensive. But they did a very good extensive video on that, and it was interesting to me.
Let's see. Oh yeah, I can't stand the shiny low profile rims. Yeah, me neither. Not really my thing. I like a lot of tire, and especially on these old cars where the suspension is not, especially the trucks. The suspension is like a log wagon, you know. It's just bang, bang, bang. So if you have a low profile, the tire soaks up some of the road, you know. So if you have a really low profile tire, it's almost like metal on the tarmac. You got no cushion, and you're just in there riding. But big, tall, fat white walls soak up at least some of the road. 16x8 Krager Nomads on 76 and Bathurst Globes on the 81. Bathurst Globes? I don't know what that means. Oh, it was the VW diesel. We have a video on the VW diesel. Can you do a walk around of your daily? Maybe not. not at the moment. 'Cause we're just
Well,
trying to-
they may be. I do have a Volkswagen diesel pickup truck. That's the one I rebuilt the motor for. I built a motor for it. I don't know if he's ever shown that.
Oh, the white Volkswagen truck.
The truck. I
Yeah,
don't
I
think
didn't
you've
do a
ever
video
shown.
on that.
I've never.
Yeah,
I
didn't do
built a
video on
motor for it, and
that. Right. That one.
Yeah, I don't think that you've ever showed that one.
No, I haven't. Hi from Vermont. A little more rusty up here. I'd say a lot more rusty up there.
Yeah, there's a guy up there that does videos from Vermont. He's called the Vermonter or something. A young man buys and sells a lot of cars from the county car sales, and my gosh, they're rusted out, terrible. Lots of rust. Frames.
Yeah, gone.
You guys ought to have frames
Well,
sent from out here back there.
Yeah, I even see a lot of cars that No Nonsense gets a hold of because he's in Pennsylvania, and even the stuff he gets a hold of is probably the same kind of stuff you're getting a hold of in Vermont, not far off, same climate, and the stuff that he shows, is, oh my gosh, when he when he puts them on his lift in his garage, I'm bracing myself for what I'm about to see, and it's just everything under the structurally gone. Floor is gone. Frames are tore up. Suspension stuff is rusted. I mean, it's just bad. He's working on a car right now, a '67 green Mustang, and he just had like all
The whole structure put in it.
He had the whole structure put in the thing, and that's the kind of stuff I do not want to be doing. I would just pass on a car like that personally, just because I don't want to deal with that or pay somebody to do it. But he did it, and it looks good. Good Biz Kid sent $10. Your channel brings a lot of value to my couch time. Thanks. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Small block Chevys are very recognizable. Well, yeah, they're iconic. Made them for decades. People hopped them up. For a whole generation of guys hopped them up. If you want to watch videos working on rust, look at South Main Auto. I don't know how much of it I really want to watch because
Painful.
It's painful to watch because we've done a lot of rust repair, believe it or not.
Painful.
You think living in Arizona that we wouldn't have, but yeah, cars do rust out up here. Floorboards do. Maybe not as structural as somewhere else, but yeah, floorboards rot out here. They do, and we've done a lot of rust repair, and I do not like rust repair. That is my least favorite thing to do. It's so time consuming. It's the most labor intensive, time consuming job on a car. That's the most thankless job because nobody sees it. Ugh.
The blue El Camino, these clothes that I'm wearing right now, when I first started working on that El Camino, I was wearing jeans and work shirts, and I did so much welding and cutting on that, it burnt up every stitch of my clothing, all of it. I had to spend $400 to replace all my clothes. My shirts were burnt up, my pants were burnt. Everything burnt up.
Stuff can be rust in the Northeast for sure. Can be rust. So I think a lot of the stuff we work on's probably been in the ground for 30 years. Unless it's been in a building, it's probably already been gone. I was about to mention the Mustang. Yeah, for sure. No Nonsense really stepped up to the plate on that car, having all that structure done. I mean, really, looked good from what I saw. I was very
Actually,
impressed.
the guy that did it has his own YouTube channel, and he went more extensive on it. And you actually got
he had.
It was a good video. It's a good watch.
Your father has a very easy to listen voice. What part of the country was he born?
Southern Illinois.
Southern Illinois. Joe Daddy's garage is working on a completely rusted out '69 Mustang, rebuilding the car entirely. Godspeed to you, brother.
I like to see that. I like to see people putting things back together.
Do you recommend a certain brand of oil filter? Not
Wix.
really. I mean, I know Wix
Wix.
is, people sing the praises of Wix and everything, but if I'm changing the oil every 3,000 to 4,000 miles routinely, I really don't care what I put on it, personally. I mean, if anything is a daily for me or whatever, I change the oil at routine, whatever intervals. My wife's car, my truck. So I really don't care if it's like the best filter in the world because I'm cycling them out. So I don't really. People always hate on you for using Fram. So maybe I don't buy. Well, you know what? I do buy Fram. I don't care because I'm changing it all the time. Terry sent $10. Love your channel and your live stream. Keep it up. Thank you, Terry.
Thank you.
Man, that's crazy.
Thank you.
I think my least favorite work to do on cars is bending and reflaring brake lines. We were doing that today, actually, on that El Camino. You'll see it in the video we're doing.
I'd like to check out that little hydraulic tool for making the flares.
I think No Nonsense uses it. He uses it's like a pump thing.
Yeah, I like it. I'd
yeah.
like to see who makes that.
Yeah, reflaring brake lines, and I don't like wiring. It takes so long, and it just doesn't feel like you're going anywhere. I don't know. So yeah, I get what you mean.
I like wiring.
I don't.
I like wiring.
Weird Beard has some pretty neat ideas, but I haven't seen much of him lately. I don't know who Weird Beard is.
He's in Oklahoma. He's out of Oklahoma. Yeah, it's funny. You're right. I haven't seen I haven't seen him. I don't know what happened. I know he had some kind of an incident where some police officer. I mean, I don't think it was bad. He was salvaging out of a trash can, and they wrote him a ticket for it. I don't think that caused him not to be on anymore. But you're right. I don't see him as much as I used to. But he's a real nice guy. I think his kid's got his own channel too. Weird Beard. Nice guy.
What is the furthest you've traveled for a vehicle? Well, we've traveled 400 or 500 miles with a truck and trailer for a vehicle, but the farthest I've ever traveled for a vehicle was flying to New Jersey for that Impala, that flying drive. That was 2,500 miles I traveled for that car, and then drove it 2,500 miles back. If you consider that traveling, but truck and trailer probably 400, maybe 500 miles.
Yeah, I'd say 500.
Peterson Restoration did the repair on that Mustang. He does awesome work.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah. I'm not a car guy. I absolutely love how you guys can make old junk functional again.
Thank you.
Glad that you can like the channel even though maybe not being a car guy. It's cool to reach other people. How long have you lived in Arizona? All my life. I'm 27, lived here all my life. My dad moved here in the 80s.
87. I moved here in 87.
Wiring is tough for sure, tedious. Yeah, it's tedious. Doug said DD's Speed Shop is another good channel. Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah, DD's good.
And then the Half-Ass Customs.
Yeah, he's very, very talented. Very talented.
Yeah.
Yes, he is very talented.
Well, it's 6 o'clock, guys. Or well, 9 o'clock your guys. We've been on for 2 hours. Probably wrap it up here soon. So ask any questions you want to ask, because
we appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Yeah.
It's been a very pleasant evening.
Yeah, it's been good.
If I could cook hamburgers and hot dogs and give them to you, but you're not here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I appreciate it. Me and Travis and I have spoke about doing this, and I'm real happy we did now. I didn't know how it would turn out, but everybody's been very polite, very nice, very good questions.
Yeah, very engaging.
Very engaging, very good questions. I love talking about cars. I love cars. I'm not a sports person at all. I don't watch any sports. Cars are my only thing. I love cars. Sun up to sundown. I work on cars all day long, and then I go in the house at night and watch more of it on TV. So I love it. And all these guys I watch, and I've gained a lot of respect. I've gained a lot of respect from the guys that do the YouTube channels just by watching Travis, because I had no clue how hard it was to edit and stuff like that. And after watching, there's nothing easy about it. You know, there's nothing easy about it. But yeah, I'm real happy it turned out real well. Wouldn't mind doing it again sometime. You know, you guys would have to get with Travis and say something. But yes, I've enjoyed it very well. Very good questions. Very good engagement. Love talking about cars.
Doug said, I'm running out of time to watch all these channels. That's the thing. That's why it's like a friendly competition for views, because
it's like cream coming to the top.
Yeah, you really have to do something to shine through, even though all the channels are good. You really have to do something to shine through, or that your knack or your something that's different about your channel that people want to watch that they can't get with another channel, so to speak. You know, I think we have the father-son thing down pretty good. The only other one is the Restored guys, the guys in Bogota, Texas.
Oh yeah, they're good guys. Oh
man,
my
I can't
gosh, they're
remember
good
their
guys.
name. But they got a good follow. They're a good follow. I'd like to meet them and hang out with them. They're cool guys.
Very good guys.
but-
Forgot about them. Didn't mean no dis. Yeah, good guys.
Have you met Sleeper Dude and family? No, have not met them.
Hey.
I'm sure we'll come across paths in the future, but yeah, not yet.
Would like to meet them.
I'd like to meet all these guys. Really, I mean, I'm just not at the events that they're at.
They're
gotta
back
remember,
east.
No Nonsense is in Pennsylvania. Vice Grips in Tennessee. Sleeper Dudes in Tennessee or Kentucky.
No, East Tennessee.
Cletus McFarland is Florida. The Restored guys are in Bogota, which is still 1,000 miles away. Pole
Actually,
Barn,
no nonsense comes out here quite a bit.
yeah, for different events. Let's see. I mean, every single other car. Pole Barn is in the Midwest somewhere. Was he in Missouri?
Missouri.
1,000 miles. I mean, everybody's 1,000 to 1,500 miles away. I mean, we just don't have many chances to meet these guys. That's why the Duct Tape Drags is so important. It's only in its 3rd or 4th year, but as it, I think, grows, maybe it will be more of like a reason for these other people to come out here, and maybe we can meet more of them, because yeah, it's just the other event is just too far away, too far. All right, let's see, a few more. Do you plan to do merch in the future? Would love to buy some. Yeah, I'm sure it's coming. I'll do merch in the future. It's just another thing.
I keep telling him.
I know, it's just another thing.
I keep
to
telling
do.
him. Do something.
All right. Well, I think we're gonna cut it here. Thank you guys for
Thank you.
watching. Thank you guys for being around. It's really good and engaging. It's went well. So
Enjoyed it very well. Thank
Yeah.
you guys.
we'll see you guys in the next video.
Yeah, we'll see you.